So Andrew Tate recently made a video denigrating all Canadian men, saying you cannot claim to be a man if you're from Canada. And Drake was instantly very offended by this.
I'm sorry, but this is the type of stuff, as awful as you may think Andrew Tate is, I'm of no opinion, as we all know. This is the stuff he's hilarious at.
Yeah.
It's made for internet clipping.
It's really funny.
Here's the video.
Imagine being from Canada.
By the way, we're going to get clipped on the music. I can already tell.
Imagine saying, I'm a man. From where? From Canada. What? That doesn't go together. Who are you talking about? Wait, you're a man from Canada?
Just doesn't make sense.
You know, he gave $200,000 to Palestine for victims.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like he's Muslim now.
Yeah.
Right.
So Drake was pissed, and Drake is just getting it on all sides recently.
Yeah. So Drake left like a shady comment. I don't really know what it means. He just said green light on that clip. He felt some type of way about that. He's been go mode lately.
Well, Drake is taking time off now to deal with gastrointestinal problems. He said so.
He just put out a new album, right?
But now he said he's out of the studio for at least a year because of gastrointestinal
He's not going to tour.
I have no idea if that means he's going to tour. He's just not going to record new albums.
Him having stomach problems is very female coded.
It's like, you can have them, but maybe don't admit it. Like, say, like taking time off for something else.
Yeah.
I got to recollect and like rethink my vision. That sounds better than I have gastrointestinals.
Yeah.
It just does.
Yeah.
It just does.
Say it's house arrest, anything. Also, there was recently a clip of Joe Budden, not Biden, denigrating Drake's new album, saying, you know, I've seen enough from Drake. He's trying to act like he's younger than he is.
Look, he's
making music for young people, not for rap fans.
You could say that about Taylor Swift. She makes music for 22-year-olds when she's 33.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, all artists have a demographic. Like, that's fine.
I don't know what Drake's demographic is. It's kind of just globalist music that you hear in commercials.
No. So he's pointing out, like, it's music for Spotify. It's
Sure.
literally designed to be.
What music do you like?
Spotify.
What movies do you like? Netflix.
Yeah.
It's that.
That's what
do you want to play the clip of him going off on Drake, or
is it the
in the TMZ article?
Can you resend it to me? Actually, I don't think I have that.
Here, I just sent it to you.
Okay. Yeah, we can.
And this angered Drake, and he left an essay under the video, eviscerating Joe Budden for failing at his rap career.
Can you resend it? I did not send.
Oh, here.
So
there you go.
There we go. All right, yeah, let's watch the clip here. This one's really funny.
I really like the couches that they're sitting on, by the way.
These are like
$10,000 couches.
This is like he rapping for the children. And that's yo, dog, I had to look up how old this nigga was when I finished listening to the album. You are 36.
I want his locks hat, though.
Birthday is in 20 days. I Googled that, too. You will be 37 years old. Get the fuck away from some of these younger and stop fucking these 25-year-olds.
Leonardo DiCaprio's like, I will not.
I'm confused just because Drake is in his mid-30s dating women in their mid-20s. What's wrong with that?
It's like, could be worse. He could be messaging Millie Bobby Brown when she's 14.
Yeah, like, talk about that.
Yeah.
Don't talk about the 25-year-olds. Talk about the 14-year-old that he was texting.
I'm listening to the album.
You mentioned it.
Why are you still fucking the 25-year-olds? You're a 37-year-old billionaire. I get it that you appeal to the world.
Let's stay current.
I get it that you appeal to
Don't
the
want to
world,
grow
and
up.
part of that is
don't want to grow up.
But that's what I'm loving
They wanna
about
stay
Cole.
young.
Like, my shit is happening in reverse. Like, with Cole, he used to rap about kid shit. I'm a grown-ass, like, real Jersey City I don't want to hear how you lost your fucking virginity. And then he started to grow up. And then the rapping sounded like an adult rapping. I'm want to hear adult Drake rapping for adult people.
No.
You're not
I
gonna
don't know
hear
That's
what any
my
of this
issue.
means.
But it doesn't matter because he's making money the way he's making money right now, right? So he does not need to actually change his style. But that's because like an artist like J. Cole might lean more heavily into the artistry of rap music, whereas Drake is more of a
He's marketable.
He's a marketable, and he puts on large scale shows at large scale venues. Now a lot of these other artists do too, but they're appealing to different demographics. That's not I don't actually get what the problem is here, but it is funny that Drake's response
Drake
was
is
almost
super sensitive, I think.
like, and Drake's response was like he did kind of like, if we're gonna pretend like power dynamics matter, like Drake is
He
a
went a
dude
little
with,
bit too
Drake is the one with
hard.
all the power who like eviscerates this
Yes,
dude.
so here's what he said. You have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip because this is what actually pays your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. You switched careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke, living check to check, and the raps you write had 450 men showing up to your shows in dusty NYC jeans to screw up their face to Mood Music 29 and pretend you are the GOAT. Please, to any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact. This guy is the poster child of frustration and surrendering. You retired and we never hung up your jersey. We don't even remember your number. We know you for doing this. You withdrew from rap not because you accomplished all you need to. It's because it wasn't working for you. I never want anybody in the generations to think that the whole everybody's entitled to their opinion is a real thing. This is a man projecting his own self-hate and the fact I did and continue to do everything he wanted to do for himself. If you need it put in simpler terms, I own a 767. He owns a modest house in the 973 and flies first class on special occasions.
the special occasions part was hilarious. I'm sorry, like he got him.
I think that maybe Joe Budden was saying this because Drake gave a shout out to Kai Cenat, the Twitch streamer. That kind of seems like he's trying a little too hard to appeal to Gen Z, but what else is he supposed to do? Like if you go out of your way to appeal to older people, then you're called out of touch.
Yeah.
That you're not developing with the times.
It's like he's
not
kind of putting him in a
maturing
place where he
with the
can't
times.
win, but he wins
Yeah.
either way, so it doesn't really matter. And but at the same time, it is funny that Drake would even respond because he
like,
doesn't need to.
If you're so
He's
booked and busy, what are you doing in the Instagram comment section on a podcast?
But that's what's great. Like that's what's funny about it. Like he doesn't need to respond.
Okay, and who else didn't need to respond? Azealia Banks. She saw this clip and said, does Drake know his nose job and liposuction is not hip hop? Does Drake know that no one who actually understands hip hop, a culture born from oppressed, don't really care about his soft tooth, colonized, confused, mixed race facsimile attempts to exhibit the true authenticity of an actual MC? Does Drake know his desperate attempts to gangsterize Canadian street life is an all-encompassing failure in and of itself?
I mean, I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a fair characterization of what he's trying to do, but I would say calling anything that he's done a failure. And that's as somebody who's not a fan of Drake, but calling him a failure is not really applicable.
Regardless of whether Azealia Banks' takes are ever correct or incorrect, she's just so like verbose and articulate. You know, like she's so good at articulating them in a way that makes it sound like she's right. She also said, can hip hop get any more trashy? Does Birdman know how low IQ, tacky, and how much of an effing loser he looks threatening Joe Budden via the internet? He also said
they could all learn from that, right? That doing those types of threats online always come off kind of cheesy.
Yeah, and
Corny.
she also ended the statement saying, honestly, if Drake's mother was black, he'd probably not be so corny. White mom syndrome is very real. Then she took shots at Kanye.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into that? Like that clip that came out of Kanye calling Cardi B an industry plant really pissed off Azealia Banks as well. She said, just when you want to defend Kanye, he goes and does some shit that is just stupid, has no comedic or artistic value, and I cannot stand to see a beep MFer try and be a bully. Is Kanye mad at Cardi because he has 60 ghostwriters and none of them have topped Bodak Yellow? I mean, that's just not true. So I appreciate that she always inserts herself into drama and has an extremely articulated opinion about it when she's not involved.
I also want to point out that one of the, it kind of reminded me, like Drake leaning into what he's doing makes sense because he got made fun of for the fact that he didn't grow up poor. He got made fun of for pretending like he grew up like
Canadian street life.
Started from the bottom on Degrassi.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have, so is he supposed to lean away from that? No, he's turned into his own image of himself that's very, very successful.
So I told you that Juicy J was talking about rap sales are down 40% this year. We need to have a big meeting to talk about it and turn this industry around. Do you think that's because all of the rap world is kind of enmeshed in drama right now, or is it TikTok's fault?
I mean,
like,
I would because I would need to look at the numbers. What does he mean? Does he mean
Taylor
like,
Swift's
does he mean album sales are down? Does he mean streams are down? Because I guarantee you streams aren't down. People are streaming music more than they've ever streamed before. Now, if we're talking about the fact that perhaps they're making less money because as the industry changes over and more people choose to stream music rather than buy it, and so they're automatically, like, they already get so little of the 99 cents or 149 that comes through per sale when you have a record label. But then you talk about how little they get in relation to streams, like 3 cents a stream or something like that. Like I would need to look at what they mean by the numbers like that. But I would guess that all music genres are struggling right now as long as they're connected to major labels, which take the brunt of the profit for this. But none of them want to break away and do the marketing themselves and do all of the legwork, because look at how much work it is for Tom McDonald to release an album and a music video. Mm-hmm. It's an insane amount of work for one person to have to take on with just a small group of people. There's just a very big reward on the other end. So they make their choice. They stick with the labels, and that sucks. But
someone as big as Drake doesn't feel the consequences of those things.
But there's only so many that are that big, and it ain't. He's that a machine, many artists. And there aren't that many artists that are actually like that. I do like watching like rap artists fight with each other. It's just funny because I did grow up in the 90s when it was actually like what was going on with like the East Coast West Coast rap feud, where people were actually dying and being shot.
And now it's just Instagram
that stuff still happens, but it just doesn't happen in, the mainstream is obviously very, very different from that. But now people are arguing with each other.
I mean, that kind of got replaced by, unfortunately, rappers dying of drug overdoses.
And that's
instead, Lil Peep,
a lot of
XXX Tentacion, Juice WRLD, like that's what replaced those
sad
types
too.
of tragedies.
Mac Miller. Mm-hmm. That's the sad fact of the matter is,
I guess that's more of the
we've become vehicles of our own destruction rather than
Gen Z is fighting with their own demons.
Well, me and you have talked about that before, because we've talked about whether it's possible. Do you think that Gen Z is, because we've talked about like Gen Z's drinking less than previous generations? I do think they're doing as many drugs as other generations, because
their drug of choice is weed.
No,
right?
I think that that you would look at the numbers and it's more like legally medicated than any other generation. Prescription, it's been
Ritalin.
So they've been more legally medicated, and I think when I see a lot of videos of like these activists at these events, and they're throwing soup on a frickin' on a painting, like I see a lot of that stuff, and I believe that they believe what they're pushing. I believe
if there's someone in a mental institution with schizophrenia who's under a delusion, you also believe that they believe what they're saying.
No, but what I'm saying is I also believe that a lot of it has to do with drug use, and that a lot of people wouldn't do the things that they were doing if they weren't taking their uppers in the morning, their mood stabilizers in the afternoon, their downers when the anxiety kicks in. And I understand how hard it is to get away from that as somebody who, like, that's not me being unsympathetic. I understand that one of the hardest things in the world to break away from is a cyclical life full of prescription medications that get you through the day. And unfortunately, it can also kind of push us into bad territory when we have,
Oh, I misspoke. XXX Tentacion got
Yeah,
shot.
I was wondering
But
about that. I was like,
what was
when you
that
said
about?
that, I was like,
that
huh?
gang related?
Yeah. So like, but Mac
don't
Miller,
remember, but-
Miller is the one that I think of when I think of, because it's not just that, it's actors too. Like there's actors that die of drug overdoses. The dude from The Wire died of a fentanyl drug overdose, and that guy who sold him the
Angus Cloud also.
Angus
from
Cloud,
Euphoria.
he all fentanyl, right? Like that's the big problem, right? So yeah, in a lot of ways, a lot of rap artists and a lot of actors, maybe it's just performers. In a lot of ways, I always make the joke, and I'm half kidding when I say it, but it's like actors are like they have to access a lot of emotion, so they have to be more naturally emotional people. I think in a lot of ways, which is why perhaps they're all more leftist and easily manipulated by political agendas. That's just my theory. I don't know whether that's true or not. I can't prove that, but so people who are more in their feelings, cope, and I was the same way.
Before we close this segment, I need to give tribute to Azealia Banks' best quote ever. I believe that when you are fat, everything you say or think is underlaid by the fact that you are fat. Any advice given or idea raised comes with the asterisk of obesity, signaling that you hate beauty and have made your body a monument to ugliness and are dying as a consequence.
How do you feel about that?
Based.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.